me on the secure line.
Please hold.
Okay, we're back. Here we go.
Okay. Woohoo. We're here.
We're here. Uh, how are you? How was your day? We're about to get into it.
It was good. A very, very, very good day. Wrote with John Strandell, as you know,
Hmm.
and then my buddy Avi Gutierrez, who I haven't seen in years.
Hmm.
Really, really good to see him. We wrote a good bit um, when I was in the country space, and he's had a lot of great success in the past couple years, and I haven't seen him, and so it was really fun to catch up and talk about where we're at now, and he's just very much a poet, and really nice to have a poetic top liner with a producer that I love. So I was just like, man, thank you, Lord, for a combo that feels like a dream combo for me.
Yeah. Back when in the old times when you did write with him, did he have a faith lean or no?
So he is a Christian, and we talked about our faith, but we didn't, he wasn't writing anything. I don't think he's ever written for anything Christian
Oh,
that
okay.
I know of. So it was fun to do it. He didn't say that, but he didn't mention anything that he's done. Because he's also just been like diving into the country world and doing great. He has cuts with Cody Johnson as of the past couple years, and Lacey K. Booth, who I
Oof.
love.
Of
And
course.
I
Fantastic.
know he wrote Loneliest Girl in the World, and I was like,
Oh yeah. It's great.
oh. Um, so yeah, it was just fun to catch up and like enjoy each other's success.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know what success of mine we were enjoying, but I was just glad that I was glad we were together, and he seemed very happy for me being the place that I'm in and working with centricity and making a sound that I'm very, very happy about. So
That's great. I guess
I
we
know it
should
was good.
do some setup for the show, at least for the first episode that you're on.
Hmm.
Tell anyone who may be listening who you are, what you do, how we know each other.
Yes, sorry, I think I let the cat out of the bag. Um,
No, this is great.
my name is Rachel Purcell, and um, I've lived in Nashville almost 10 years. Met my husband Noah here in Nashville, and we've been married a little over 6 years. And I do Christian artistry, Christian music, Christian songwriter currently in Nashville. And I moved here to do country music, and so I had a stint of that for like 6 years, and then the Lord moved me very beautifully into the Christian space. And um, when He did that, I started meeting tons of people in the Christian space, and fantastically got to go on the retreat that Centricity Music takes independent artists on, and got to meet you there. And we had great conversations and talked a lot about music and life. And now we work together, which is a huge blessing. So
Yeah.
um, now I've been with Centricity almost 2 years, which is kind of crazy.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
not almost, but we've got a few months. But yeah, thankful to get to my 10th year here in Nashville being in the place I am.
They say Nashville's a 10-year town. Do you feel like that's true?
100%. I kind of hate it. Uh, but really, I mean, I feel like every year counts. It's like I'm also like I hate statements that are like one size fits all type of deal.
Oh, yeah,
So
sure.
I hate like 10-year town, but I think there's something to working at a craft for 10 years.
Yeah.
And um, I think there's something to working at a craft for 1 year and 5 years and 10 years. And Lord knows something is happening in 10 years. You're
Mm,
definitely not where you were day one or year one. So,
that's
it
good.
could be, yeah, it could be that you're not doing the thing and that's what the 10th year highlighted for you. But I think it's going to highlight something, really, really good because time does that.
Yeah. I'm gonna clip that out. I like that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I talked to one of your managers, Nathan, today about
Oh, yeah.
the first song with John and just like budget and schedule for that. So we're on the same page with that, which is great. Uh,
Heck yeah.
because for anyone listening who listened last week, I don't even know if I mentioned this.
Mm.
Over communication is one of my words of the year. Um, I just
Yes.
got tired of things falling by the wayside, especially in a work sense, and someone
Mm.
eventually saying, "Oh, I didn't know about that. No one told me."
Mm.
So I'm trying to eliminate all of that from my life. I'm not going to be perfect at it, but I'm making an intentional try with everything I'm involved in.
Mm.
So yeah, Nathan's aware. Um,
Amazing.
there was something else with you that I need to bring up. Maybe not. Maybe I'll remember later.
Did he
Um,
mention doing a couple songs or
no, we just talked
um
about one, which
okay, good.
I would like to do that, especially with the new one with uh, Bordeaux.
I know.
That song freaking rocks.
I
Uh,
know.
we'll see. I'm still not mad at starting with one and seeing where it goes,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I think it's great. Um John and I talked a little bit about, studio versus no studio, and his lean was, why don't we take this first one in the batch of this new sound and see how it goes with just dubbing and sending things, and if we hate it and feel like it's not enough and not bringing it to life, then we can go in the full studio and cut it
yeah,
live band.
yeah. I think he's right for sure. Also, for anyone who might be listening who doesn't already know who I am for whatever reason, uh, I do A&R, which stands for Artist and Repertoire, at the label that Rachel is signed to. Rachel's one of my artists. Basically, A&R is you find artists and you help them make their records. The very, very short definition of that. Um, so I'm helping Rachel in the start of her new record creation for a new sound we're chasing for
PTL. I'm like, I'm just beaming and
her.
so thankful, and it's been really fun, um, doing a little writers camp this week for it to give us some more options because, um, we have 4 to 6 ish songs that feel like they could be in the vein of this just very cohesive sound that Strandell has just brought. I feel like out of thin air. It's just the Lord just made it happen. And so this camp was to kind of get a few more, just to see if we could, you know, beat anything out, or maybe it's songs that'll live on a full record, or, whatever. But
Yeah.
we've definitely had some fun. So I'm excited.
This brings me to one of my questions for this call. I'm going to try and come with at least one thing to ask
Oh,
specifically.
I love that. Okay.
Um, when did you start to link your creativity to songwriting? Like so many kids, like maybe they just they're like finger painting, like even at a very young age, or like coloring. Um,
Mm.
when did you feel like songwriting was the way to express your creativity?
You know, so Noah and I are doing some great individual therapies right now, and going through a lot of our childhood, and it's been hard, but also so good to just look at. little you and,
Mm,
what you were doing and what you needed and how you operated. And um, it's been cool for me to go back and like see what music I was like
mm,
really, really loving and really into as, I think a lot about like college Rachel and high school Rachel, but really like young Rachel. I was basically listening to what my parents listened to until, I got a CD player, which was fairly young, I would say. And my CD player would be in my room and my parents would buy me CDs, for the CD player.
yeah.
And and as a little girl, I was just telling Paul Duncan this. My mom got me this Kenny Loggins CD.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, and it's the one with all the pretty little ponies on it. And
Okay.
Return to Pooh Corner. It's this whimsical, it's like a children's book, but like theatrical, dreamy songs. And
Hmm,
I used to listen to that to fall asleep. And
interesting.
yeah, and so I was showing it to Noah, and he was like, "Wow, this is so interesting to hear that, this is what your little mind was falling asleep to. Like that's so much wiring in your brain."
Hmm.
And so then, there was that I feel like was maybe me, you know, second, third, fourth grade. And then I started getting into like, it was Britney Spears. I'm kind of surprised my parents got me a Britney Spears CD because we were
Yeah.
pretty, conservative Christian music.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I was like, oops, I did it again. And then like my parents loved growing up, but they loved country music. And so it was like Rascal Flats and
Mm,
Carrie Underwood. And I started, watching American Idol and, um, fell in love with Carrie Underwood. I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And Kelly Clarkson, and I got her Breakaway
ooh,
CD,
yes.
I mean, just so much female singers. My dad, and my mom both loved Celine Dion and Whitney Houston. And so they would just like blare, these great pop voices, but then they also loved Earth, Wind and Fire and Doobie
Hmm.
Brothers and Aretha Franklin. And so there was all this like soul and funk in there too. But anyway, I say all that to say like there was a lot of music being played, but it wasn't until I would say like, well, I'll say simultaneously with listening to a lot of music, starting, I mean, I guess from being born, as soon as I could write, I was given journals for Christmas
Okay.
and I would journal. And I was just telling Noah, I would address the journal as like, "Hey girly,"
Huh. Okay.
and I would like write to myself.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I would write out, how I was feeling that day and all the, the dramas of my little school life and boys I'd crushes on and all the things. And um I had also started taking piano lessons at 6,
Okay.
and I'd taken them till like, maybe 5th or 6th grade. And so anyway, I'm listening to a ton of music, I'm starting to journal, I'm also playing piano, and then I remember Adele in middle school put out this record with it was 19 or
Okay. Yeah.
21, 19, I think it was actually 19 first. And I'm like, whoa. And in at the time, the computer room,
Oh, yes, of course. Can't forget.
the computer room, I would watch Adele's live performances of 19. And we also had a piano in the computer room. And I would go to the piano and I would learn how to play those songs. And so I would start the video, listen to it, stop it, and then try to learn it. And I would do that like, I mean, all afternoon and learn the songs. And so I was like, whoa, this is really, really fun. And then I would try to learn them and like sing them. And then I started in my journal, I would start, instead of just writing my thoughts, I started writing like more like poems that felt like kind of the way that Adele wrote her kind of personal, you know, life journal entry kind of things. And I ended up taking my journal to the piano and um I would put music to it.
Hmm.
And I loved Adele so much and I wanted it to sound kind of like how she would do it, or like Kelly Clarkson. And and then like really YouTube just was like crazy for me, which I'm like it's insane that that's what it
Huh.
was, but I found Lady Gaga um doing her, you know, live performances at the piano of like Poker Face,
Hmm.
um and she was so, theatrical. She sounded so different from her records. Like when she
Yeah.
was playing it live, it was like this thing. And and yeah, so I feel like I just started following, watching these artists on YouTube that were phenomenal. And I was like, I want to write stuff like they have. And I want to sound like them. And so anyway, it kind of was just like it happened. And it's like if you put a young music loving girl with a journal, I feel like it's just kind of bound to happen. Um
Yeah.
and it was like I just took the tools and the things around me that I loved and just started writing, and no one had to tell me to do it. And I just did it all the time. And I just started writing song after song after song. And it was just like as young as I can remember, I just loved it.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I not that I have a similar story. I don't at all, because I never really played anything. But I did always love to
Mm,
sing stuff. But I never really wrote anything down. I was always a very slow handwriter, and that always
mm,
frustrated me. So like I never was good at journaling because I couldn't just write
mm,
fast enough. Um, and
hmm,
I grew up with Gamble, so around songwriting all the time, and even wrote
mhm,
songs with him for years. But
mhm.
I rarely enjoyed it. Um, I just did it because it was fun hanging out with him. Um, but I wonder how many other people got their start. Just like, yeah, I started either singing or I started journaling, and then I merged the two, and here I am now.
Yeah, I would be curious. Um, yeah, because there's something so, sweet and personal about a diary and a
Mm,
journal and a place where you can have secrets and hide away and, be open with yourself. And, journaling is something now that I'm starting to take back up again because I didn't do it for a while outside of like, I would have like a place where I wrote down like sermon notes or like, a proper, it'd be like more for just church or prayer, but I haven't been like, I'm just going to write to myself or to no one and just,
yeah,
see how that feels. And I feel like there's something really beautiful and sacred about that. I'm thankful God gives us the ability to have that.
yeah. Break out the Hey Girlie.
I know. No, it's like, hey, girly. And then I'm like, gotta go. Mom's coming. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh gosh. So funny.
No, that was the question. I feel like most of the questions for you will be about creativity in some sort.
Yay, I love that.
Because like the amount of people who get to say that they are artists for a living is so small. I feel like people want to hear about the creative mind.
Yeah, I mean, what a wild place it is. And I'm like, it's very normal to be me because I am me. I've never
Mm,
been anybody else. And I'm like, sometimes I feel like, especially when I'm in public, I'll think about what would it be like to live a completely different life and not be someone who's doing music for a living and have my thoughts and my views and my function, just the way that I am because I'm so just used to it. And
mm,
it's a blessing to even have songwriters who are just even in creativity, you know, totally different,
yeah.
And I was telling Strandell, this week, like, we're completely different piano players.
Mm,
And I'm really, really thankful because, you know, I've I learned, only to really a certain extent. And I can learn like what he teaches me or I can like listen to my songs enough and like figure out what the parts are. But my instincts in creating songs won't ever sound like what his are.
yeah.
And when he goes to make chords and progressions and the way that we're writing, like today, for example, I'm like, I would have never done that. And that's something I would love to like. I love what he's doing. And
Yeah.
so I think it's cool that the Lord, you know, takes, the Lord is thinking so far out in the future, you know, making collaborators fit in ways that they need each other to get where each other needs to go. Cause like I have a vision and I can say, I want it to sound like these words. And, this is what I have in mind. I want it to feel retro. I want it to feel dreamy and, kind of romantic, but I want it to feel epic and strong and anthemic, but still intimate and all these things. And, you know, some people hear that and they don't have the paintbrush for that,
Hmm.
and God gives the right people the right paintbrush for the visionary who needs it, because I
Yeah.
don't even quite have the paintbrush in my hands and in my mind to my hands, but I have it in my mind, if that makes sense.
I think I
And
got you. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. And so he can play things and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. And
Yeah, it's like the hands and the
um
feet. Yeah, like
or yeah, yeah, it's the body working together.
yeah.
And um so it's funny how like even within creatives you can be totally different ends of the spectrum and be really creative, which is its own crazy thing in life,
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for taking time.
Of course. Thank you. And I can't wait for next month. It's going to be fun. I feel like doing this year because, we got a lot of fun stuff happening this year. It'll be fun to follow our storyline out.
I know. It's interesting because like me and my mom call often, often enough. You and I talk on the phone
Mhm.
often. Me and
Yes.
Adam, the third person, we
Mhm.
don't. And then whoever is going to be the random guests every month. It's going to be an interesting mix of like people I already feel comfortable with on the phone and people that I don't, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm like this is a good short conversation for us.
Yes, for sure.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on, and I can't wait till next time.
Sick. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.